Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh. So, does anyone remember what we were talking about yesterday? Anyone? Come on. You guys got all those notebooks. There must be something you wrote down. Hanji? Oh yeah. He doesn't even have a notebook here. What else did we talk about? Yes.
About the four problem lines, the same Katha.
Oh, the Santa Pagat land. Yes, very good. Anji?
Technique to open both your
Nostrils. Okay, good. That's it. That's good enough. So, we're good. So, that technique that was taught, there are sometimes a bit of a difference. Like my father-in-law, Bhai Seva Sangeet Tarmala, they would sometimes say to do that technique, but there was one point where they also did say that this is up to you, whatever works for you best. And they would say to, when you take your surti up, say Vahe, and when you take it down, say Guru. So we did the opposite direction. Either way is fine. Whatever works for you, as long as those nasal passages get equal on both sides. So, who knows what Kal is? Yes? Okay. Who else? What were you going to say? Huh? Talk louder.
Like the devil?
Okay, the devil. Okay. Anyone? Other guess? Yes. No, Papaji is not Kal. No. Right. So Kal, yeah, you could say evil force. Technically, like good, evil. He's just doing his job, right? So he's not going to really be at fault, right? The other thing is that the issue is that Kal is keeping us away from Vaheguruji, so he feels evil to us. And yes, he is the devil. That's why another name for him in Gurbani is Shaitan. When Guru Sahib talks about following Guru Sahib's path, through Satogun, we're trying to get back home. From Rajogun to Satogun is known as live, the path of love. And doing bhakti, coming into your home, having that intellect through Gurbani, so that we can connect with Naam inside, is what's important for us. And Maharaj says that Nanak Ra Eho Hor Galla Satan. The path of Gurmat is the true path, and any other talk is of Shaitan. Shaitan means Kal. In English they say Satan. That's where Satan comes from, Shaitan. And basically, that means the devil. He has these smaller devils working for him, and those are lust, anger, greed, worldly attachment, and ego that are at Tamogun. The thing is that because Kal has been given a hukum from Vaheguruji to make the mind to play here, Vaheguruji is actually trying to see if the mind, which is a child of the Lord, is more in love with everything that's in Maya, all the gifts that it's been given, or if it's more in love with its origin, the truth. when we are more in love with all the stuff that we have in this materialistic world, then we forget Waheguru Ji. And Maharaj says, Daat pyari visraya datara. Instead of thanking Waheguru Ji for giving us everything and meditating upon Him more, what our mind does is it attaches itself to the materialistic possessions and gives those more focus than the one that actually gave all those gifts to the mind. Every single physical form that is been created by Waheguru Ji is been given to Kal to have under his power of control. Maharaj says, Khand patal deep sab loa sab kale vas aap prabh ki. That Waheguru Ji has made it that all physical forms, including this planet, including all solar systems, galaxies, the smallest form to the largest form, all those forms are in the hands of God. So here's a bit of a different notion of the devil. People hear shaitan and devil and they get all scared and stuff. But the thing is, that no, he's not going to possess you, and he doesn't go possess people. What he does is makes the mind fall asleep here. So where you see all those people go, oh, be rid of the devil, go away, and then stuff like that, it doesn't really work like that. Instead, Kal is actually inside us. He uses the 5 thieves to make the mind play within this world. So, from our eyes down to our feet, this area actually belongs to Kal. Above the eyes is our true home, our inner mansion. That is where Waheguru Ji has come to sit inside, protecting the divine treasure inside. And basically, they've made it so that the mind now has to go through the Guru to come back home. And in the meantime, they're keeping that treasure safe. So, the mind is known as the king of this body. I know we just said that Kal is who the body has been given to, but the thing is this, Kal is actually a servant, right? It's like as if a king hires some sort of a assistant that you're going to manage all these things. Or the owner of a big business says, hey, I'm going to look at all the profits and losses, but this manager is for this department, this supervisor is going to work under him, this manager is for a different department. That's how this works. The reality is everything belongs to the Lord. But He's made these managers and assistants, and because the mind happens to be,
I see my friend.
You see your friend somewhere? Okay, go find him. Anyways, so what happens is that the divine word, when we connect with that word, our mind realizes its potential. Our mind, because it's a child of the Lord, and because everything belongs to the Lord, rightfully so, indirectly, everything is for us, right? The parents work for the kids. They make stuff so the future generations will thrive. So what's happening here is the mind is given this kingdom to rule over. Inside this body is different organisms, cells. There's different entities that have their own mind. And what happens is, because they have their own mind, they sometimes get upset too. And the mind itself the actual king of the body, has to make sure that all the citizens in this body are feeling safe, secure, and they're all happy. Okay? So the thing is, the Maharaj has made it so that inside the inner mansion, we have a bunch of treasures for us. But because a king needs some help as well, it needs some people to consult with, it has ministers, where it sits down and then they talk to each other. The ministers give the mind information, and then mind says, okay, this is what we'll do. We'll make a decision. So, hopefully you can read. It's a pretty easy question. Who are the ministers of this mind? You back there. And you?
The punch.
No, not the Panchachor. Yes? No? The five senses. This is right there. Okay, so the five senses are the ministers. No, not the Panchachor. So anyways, the five senses are the ministers for the mind. What are the five senses? You all go to school, they have to teach you that. And the white shirt.
Touch.
Okay, yeah, touch. Yeah, next. Eyes, seeing, sight. Huh? So sound, hearing. Yeah, you haven't had a turn. Smell. Taste. Alright, that's the five senses. So the five senses are for us, so we could gather information about this physical abode. Like I can touch this, I can see how hard is this, how soft it is. I can see far enough, I can tell who's coming and going, right? Our five senses provide us information so that our mind can then make decisions. So when the mind has to make decisions, then what it does, it gives out an order to those who have to carry out whatever command the mind says. I don't know what we would call that. If we had one word for kurinde in English, I could just use that. Those who carry out the orders.
The workers?
The workers, that's a great word to use. So the workers, for the mind, they carry out all the actions. So what they are is our hands, two of them, feet, and okay, so the sense of touch is also counted amongst those. It's one of the five karmindri. Why? Simple. So with touch, I can figure out if a surface is hot or cold, but with touch, I can also move stuff. I can use my shoulder. I'm using touch. So that's counted. Touch is actually counted in both. So then Maharaj says in Gurbani, Sukh Sagar Suratar Kam Ten Bas Jake Re Char Padarat Ast Mahasid Navnid Karatal Tanke. That inside our inner mansion, and remember this is a topic that we're trying to complete from yesterday in English because initially it was in Punjabi. So for those that didn't understand, then they can hear this. So Maharaj says, first of all, there's Sukh Sagar inside. Now, we've talked about how Tamogun is the ocean of poison, Rajogun is the ocean of fire, Satagun is the ocean of peace. But this is different. This refers to the peace that we get inside our own mansion. It's greater than the ocean of peace that's here in the Dragon. That's an important point to note. So you know that the amount of peace I'm going to get in my mansion is much greater than what's going to be in the Dragon, in Maya. Then Maharaj says, inside there is the Suratar or Parjat Drakht, tree. A tree that bears fruit. So during before Kal Yuga. Okay, so there's 4 jugs. Who's really interested in this? There's 4 jugs since the beginning of this world. The first is known as the Golden Age, Satya Yuga. After that, it was the Silver Age, Treta. After that, it was the Bronze Age, Dwapar. And this is the Iron Age, Kal Yuga. Kal Yuga also means the Dark Age, or the Age of Kala, where there's a lot of technology. But someone outside was saying that it's the age of Kala, as in like Kala Kalesh, fighting and arguments and everything. So the thing is that in those original yugas, time periods, it was considered that there's a Parijat tree that was so special that it would bear any type of fruit that anyone wanted. It was quite unique. And they say only some sages had access to this. Then, Maharaj talks about the Chintamani. It's a jewel that makes this mind free of anxiety. And then there's the Kamten Go. Kamten, the Go means cow. And from that Kamten cow, Kamten was its name, a person was able to get whatever they desired. That's why there are some cultures that tend to worship the cow as one of the reasons, because Kamten Go was known to be very special. Guru Sahib and Guru Bani then tells us that what these actually are. Maharaj teaches us that Parijat Drakht, Parijat Eho Harko Naam. That Naam itself is that Suratar Drakht which can give you any fruit. Whatever you desire, you can get from them. Kam Tena Har Har Gun Gam. That when we sing the praises of the Lord, when we're always talking about the Lord, what happens is that we can get anything we want. Chintamani refers to the jewel that's inside our forehead. It's not like the jewels outside. It's different. Maharaj कहते हैं मस्तक मणि मस्तक पद्म द्वालय मणि माहे निरंजन त्रेपमतणि पंच शब्द निर्माल वाजय, where the 5 primordial sounds play. There is a jewel there, and that's within our mastak, our forehead. Char padarth ast mahasiddh navnid karatal tanke. Then the 4 gifts. Originally, when we are sent into this world, we have 3 gifts that people speak of. One is arthajara, which allows us to basically use the ability of the body to get a job, work in the world, make money. Dharma comes from Satogun, Kam from Tamogun. And then above all these 3 is Naam itself. They're known as the 4 gifts. They're abilities of the physical form that are needed at times in this world. Now the thing is that when we connect with Naam, we actually get liberated. All the other 3, while Dharma is very important, with the body, everything is going to disappear. So what happens is, Maharaj says, कि Satgur कहवस 4 पदार्थ 3 समाय 1 करतार्थ. Satgur diye muktate ana harpat chin pe pradhan. So Satguru makes sure that their Sikh focuses on Naam. Because these 3, they're going to vanish with the body. When the body is gone, that's it. Naam is what we need so that we don't have to come back again into this physical form. Then there's the 18 powers. I could describe these. just for fun. I don't memorize all these. We'll describe some of them. Actually, you don't need to know the names. What we'll do is we'll just do the description. One of those powers is to actually increase your size. One is to decrease. One of those powers is that you can see beyond what a normal person can see. One is you can hear beyond what people can hear. One is that you can travel from one place to another and it can be instantaneous. The reason we don't dwell on these too much is that most people, they want to meditate and get those. Those people, they don't really care for meeting Vaiguru. They're waiting for when do we get these powers. The issue with that is, Maharaj says, Riddh Siddh Sab Moh Hai Naam Na Vase Man Aaye. That these powers, even though they're there for us, they make us attached to Maya. And then you can't have Naam reside inside. The reason they're there is those Gurmukhs that rise above the Trigun and they meet Vaiguruji, these powers serve those Gurmukhs. Those Gurmukhs aren't busy using their powers all the time because they have better things to do. They're always focused on the truth and they're always doing their meditation. A lot of times people think that the Babbe are just busy reading everyone's mind. And what happens is that when you sit in front of them, some people get scared. What if they read my mind or they figure out I had this thought? 2008, Bhai Singh, my father-in-law, came here. And they were at someone's house. And someone was brave enough to ask. And obviously, it's good to ask questions to people that are knowledgeable, especially have divine knowledge. Because then you can learn, right? Most people are scared of Babbe because the Babbe that are fake usually scare people. They don't want you to ask questions. But Bhai Seva Singh Tarmala was always different. They were real. A real saint. And they encouraged everyone to ask whatever question they wanted as long as it's Gurmukh related. So the BPG asked, she basically said, Bhai Sahib, tell us, do saints just keep reading people's minds? And Bhai Sahib looked over at her and said, saints don't waste their time. They're busy meditating upon the Lord. They don't waste their time. There are situations where whatever information a Gurmukh needs will come to them. And that's where those Riddhiyan Siddhiyan come in. Basically, they serve those Gurmukhs. And information that's important, and if Vaiguruji wants their Gurmukh to know about something, they're going to find out. And it doesn't mean that it automatically just happens magically. There can be some situations that happen. But in reality, Vaiguruji is within everyone as well, right? Atma Guru. So that information can be passed through anyone or anything. So these powers are there, and then the non-Nidhiyan, that's the 9 treasures. We don't really dwell on which ones they are. There's a lot that we can describe, but know that that points to Naam as well. Because Naam itself is known as non-Naam. Now, question is this. What is the food of the mind? And you really should know this. I know you know. Yeah, it's true. Jujhar Singh?
Amrit Ras.
Amrit Ras. Har Ras, Brahm Ras. The nectar. Maharaj, for this child, just as when we go to our home after we come back from school, we need food. We're tired. Lunch was back at noon and it's approaching evening time. Tell your mom you need food. Well, Maharaj has made it so that when the mind comes from here back into the inner mansion, that there's actually a well full of Amrit. Maharaj says, Antar Kruta Amrit Parya Sabde Kad Piya Panehari. That well of Amrit is available for us to get nectar. As long as we're using the Shabda inside, we can get that nectar from inside. That's why Maharaj says, Amrit Naam Nidan Hai Mil Pivo Bhai. That Amrit Naam allows us to get that nectar. Then, you'll notice that when we go home in the physical abode, that sometimes it's cold at home. What do you do when it's cold at home? Hanji? Turn the heat. And what if it's too hot? Oh yes. Yeah, I was going to say AC, but... Yeah. So, inside, what happens is the temperature is kept constant. So the mind's always comfortable. Like perfect. Because sometimes some people, I hope, they keep their room clean because they know they want it perfect. Some kids have too many toys and they don't keep their room clean. Their parents keep cleaning it for them, which shouldn't be. But anyways, the thing is that our inner mansion is perfect. It's at a constant temperature, and that climate is in which there's rain happening. And that's known as Amrit Varka. Maharaj says, Jim Varse Amrit Tara Man Pive Sune Sabd Vichara. That you can actually feel that Amrit, that drizzle of Amrit upon ourselves by listening to Shabdi Vichara. Then sometimes a child, when returning home, wants to make their own food. How many of you kids make your own food? Oh, really? Oh. Your sister, Margaret. That's cool. Sometimes. Wait, what do you all make? Oh, you make pasta? How old are you? That's pretty good. Oh, you too? How old are you? I don't think I know how to make pasta yet. Yeah, what do you make? Instant noodles. I can do that. I can do instant noodles. I can do that. Anji? What's that?
And beef. It's like this beef gourmet food.
Can I know?
Gourmet food, okay. Anji, does it keep it on there?
My mom.
Your mom makes, what do you make though?
I make gold.
No.
Oh, you don't even like grab like cheese and just eat it? Like cheese sticks?
No. My
Andy.
mom made special.
Instant noodles are real. That's cool. We need to talk after.
My mom made noodles.
Your mom makes noodles. That's cool. Okay, so
I make water.
you can't make water. No one.
Wow.
Hey, we talked about this the first day of the camp. If any of you have made the elements, let me know because I really want to see you. Who was that said that?
I make cereal.
Oh, you make cereal?
Yeah, I make
cereal.
I'll go. You cook.
Oh, anyways, so let's back to the topic. You can prepare your own amrit. You want to learn how to do that? Maharaj कहते हैं मेरे राम ऐसा खीर बुलोइए गुरमुख मनवा अस्तर राखे इन विद amrit पोइए. That you can prepare your own amrit yourself if you want. You want to learn how to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so sit properly. Close your eyes. And you're going to follow exactly how we're doing Simran, and you're going to start copying. Ready? It's going to be really slow. Guru Vai Guru Vai Guru Vai Guru So, if you're listening carefully, when you listen to your awaj, try to be as still as possible and just keep listening to your awaj, and then try to just basically fully focus in what you're saying. Forget about your body then. I know that when we're young, we all fidget around a lot. And it's hard to keep in one spot because we're so energetic. We want to like run around and stuff. But sometimes with all the kids at home in Edmonton, all the cousins come to play and stuff. And when they make a lot of noise, I play a game with them. I play a game saying, let's see who can be the most silent out of everyone. And then usually they get a prize or something. Then what they will do, they'll actually listen to me. I'll get them to do Simran maybe, and just see who out of them opens their eyes the least, who moves the least, and that person wins. Have you guys ever played that?
No.
You should play that game at home. Your parents will be so happy. So anyways, that's how you prepare Amrit inside. So when we go home, sometimes we're tired. Some people, they want to take a shower or something. So Maharaj has prepared that for us inside as well. If the mind wants to bathe itself and cleanse itself, it can do that at Tribeni or Parag. And we talked about this technique yesterday, where Maharaj says, Ida Pingla Sukmana, Teen Base Ek Thai, Beni Sangam Te Parag hai, Manmajin Kare Thai, Santo Tahan Niranjan Ram hai. And we talked about that technique. That's the way the mind can bathe. That's what's happening. It's being cleansed. And then where we inside sit within Sun and the Naad appears, we start to hear Naam inside. There we get Ras. That's known as Amritsar. Maharaj says, Mail gayi man nirmal hua, Amritsar Tirath na hai. That Tirath means pilgrimage. Pilgrimage is a place which is considered holy. People go there, and usually most pilgrimages in India specifically are at water bodies where people bathe. So just like when we go to Harmandir Sahib in Punjab, and there's a sarovar around Harmandir Sahib at Amritsar, so we go inside the water. Similarly, inside us, the mind can do that as well, and go to Amritsar inside. So we were talking even in the morning about Gur Sadgar ka jo Sikh khai so palke uthar naam tyag hai. Udum kare palke prabhati isnan kare Amritsar naam hai. Updesh Guru har har jab jabe sab kilvik paap dokh le jave. Fir chade divas gurbani gawe bende uthne har naam tyag. The second line specifically states that you are to bathe in Amritsar every day. You can't fly to India to do that every day, unless I guess you're really close by, but we're far away, right? The thing is that Amritsar that we have to bathe in is inside us. In the olden days, in the...
Wait, did you question?
Yes.
What is the difference between Tribeni, Prague, and Amritsar if the mind is bathing in all of those places?
Okay, so when we're bathing here, we're using the Gurmantar, right? And that purifies our mind to a certain extent, right? When we start to hear Naam inside, our mind gets cleansed even more. And then when we see Sacha Paramatma, then Maharaj says, Nadri Satguru Seviya, Nadri Seva Hoye, Nadri Eman Vasave, Nadri Man Nirmal Hoye. That with our seeing Paramatma, then our mind is totally purified. So these are levels to purification for this mind. Even the Jugatiyan that we use, like Sasgara Simran, that will alleviate some thoughts. Then eventually you're going into Sun, you're going to take it a step further, then you're going to do Sasasana. That's going to alleviate more filth. Then eventually you're going to do Rom Simran. That's going to alleviate even more filth. And then eventually you're hearing Anahad Shabda, that's going to purify the mind. So at each point, this mind is being, is shedding all the filth that it's had on it for many, many lifetimes. So the 68 Tirths, 68 places of pilgrimages that are counted in India as being very holy by some communities, some people think that if they spend their last time of life there, that they'll automatically be transported into heaven. Guru Sahib has actually taught us that if even someone wanted to get into heaven, they have to meditate. That there's no thing, oh, that you do good, you're going to go to heaven, you do bad, and you do anything almost that is devoid of Naam, the high chances are that you're going to end up going to hell. And you're going to suffer punishment. The only way to escape punishment is if we do meditation, if we do bhakti, if we're going along the path that Guru Sahib describes for us. Just for information's sake, because there's so much information, this is why some of the things that we're sharing here haven't been said over there, and some that have been said there aren't shared here. It's whatever Maharaj wants that we're able to share here. So when we rise above the Trigun, just going into Sun itself is like heaven, because your mind has no thoughts. The Trigun are basically like a hell inside, where we're constantly in worries and wants, desires, and our mind has no rest. There is a specific place within Sun where people that are kept and punished, and that's also known as hell. Then what happens is that the Juns, the species that people are sent into, they're counted as hell as well. Those who do really wrong, sometimes they're just kept in hell that's made in a place where they just keep getting punished. And some who have done wrong, they get to enter the womb, but they never get out. They go from one womb to another, over and over again, until they fulfill their punishment. Now the thing is that's why this is important that we do bhakti and we escape all that pain and suffering that we could have. Within this area, Sun, that's known as heaven, there's a place above it where those angels or angelic beings are, those Devi Devte are, and that's known as Devlok. And our mind is actually reaching there when we hear celestial sound. Our mind is like a Devta at that time. It's like an angelic being. The thing is, that's above Swarga, it's above this area. They actually have, it's called 30 crore Devi Devta. How much would 30 crore be in English? Let's see. Anyone knows?
3.3 million.
Yeah, I think it's 3.3 million. Yeah. Because 84 lakh ho gaya 8.4 million, right? So that 33 crore Devi Devta, 3.3 million?
No, 33 million.
33 million.
Yeah.
33 million is their census, their population. If one gets to go there, they send one here. They don't go over their population. Yes?
It's like a fixed number.
Yeah, it's a fixed number. A lot of the numbers that are for this mandal, they're fixed. But, okay, so when we are talking about this earth and the specific khandas or planets that have a connection with them, okay, so the Mukhi being the sun, right? The sun is the leader of this solar system. And everything's revolving around it in one way or another. The sun is actually going around something else. They're all on a journey. And everyone's traveling together. There's this one Pracharak, he keeps telling people that, oh, I'll give this many millions to anyone that proves that Gurbani says that the earth is moving. Well, Gurbani says that everything is movement, except for Vaheguru. Prabh mera thir thavri aur aave jaave. Everything is in movement. ए मार्ग संसार को नानक थिर नहीं कोई. Everything that Vaheguru Ji created is in movement. The only one that's still and constant is Sach Paramatma himself. I don't care to get the money from that guy, so I don't want to contact him. I don't care. So the thing is, some people think that the 68 Tirthas, if they spend their last swas there, that they're going to go to heaven. But Maharaj teaches us, if you go to the Tirth inside, which is known as Atam Tirth, you can actually go above your body there. You can actually let go of the physical body. And then what happens is, you can go, well, you have a choice. You can go to Sacha Mal and go right into Prakash, or with the Nad, you can go into the Sunamandal, the astral plane. The astral plane is a place where you can go and venture about wherever you want. No one's going to stop you. There's no obstacle. You don't need a visa, you don't need anything. You can go see whatever you want in this universe, depending on how much swas you've saved. And there would be certain limitations based off of your bhakti as to how far you can go. Then one I just skipped over though, if you want to do worship inside, some people like to do worship in their homes. Like for us as Sikhs of Guru Granth Sahib Maharaj, we tend to have like Nityanim spots where we do Nityanim in the house, right? Where we do Path, where we do Kirtan maybe. The holy room. So inside us, Maharaj says, Antar Puja Than Marara Jyoti Jyot Milavan Hara. That we can do worship inside where we see Prakash of Vaheguru Ji. We start looking at that Prakash and our Jyot, our light goes and meets the Supreme Light and merges into Vaheguru Ji. That's that place of worship. So how many of you knew we had all this inside us? No one? Oh, you all knew that? That's really good. That's good. So the thing is that these are all the gifts inside. But as you know, we've forgotten how to go back in to our inner mansion. And because we don't know how to get there, it's hard to access all this. So when the mind king is sent into this world, Kal greets the mind first. So remember we were saying that Kal starts right at the eyes? So when the mind comes from the inner mansion out, it's told that to come back in, you're going to have to get the Shabd from the Guru. And that's the Guru Mantra that we're chanting. The mind comes this way. These Triguna are inside the body. And what happens is, Right there, Kal greets the mind. Jamakal mile de pet seva karne to hui. And as a servant starts to walk around with the mind. The 5 thieves, lust, anger, greed, worldly attachment, and ego that are tamogun, they see that their leader, Shaitan, Satan, Kal, is walking around with someone. And what happens is that he gives them a signal that this is the king. He's come here to see if anyone's hurting, anyone has any takalif, and any sorrow, any sort of issue in this kingdom. And they tend to make it so that the mind isn't able to tell what's happening in the body itself. So they give the gifts of this world to the mind. And when they do that, the mind is like, wow, this place is great. This place is so cool, I want to stay here. And forgets its own place and it just falls asleep here. You had a question? Hello? Yeah?
Yeah. So you think there's a mansion side right here, right?
There's a what?
Mansion.
Right?
Yeah, mansion is above the eyes, yes.
Yeah. So she's sick and their mansion, and they keep doing Vajra. If they stop doing Vajra, would they have less breaths in there?
No, okay, what's his question?
I didn't understand.
Say it louder.
He said he's
Yeah, no, say it louder.
Is there a time limit, like we can, like, is there a time limit so we can live, like when she's sick, or in their mansion, is there a time?
Did you say Shaheed 6?
Yes, is there any time to stay in the mansion?
Oh, wow.
I
Okay.
think he's asking us a time limit.
Okay, so there's a time limit for us to play here.
No, I'm
That-
asking, yeah, is there any or no?
When we're in our mansion, we can stay there as long as we want. There's no time limit there. There's a time limit to how much we get to play here. When our time is up, they call us in, but if we didn't get to Naam, what happens is that we're not gonna, they call us away from the body, right? But the thing is that at that time, we go away from Naam as Naam leaves the body. So we don't really get to stay in the inner mansion. We'll hear Anahad Shabd at the end. But the mind that doesn't meditate, because Vaiguruji roars at that time, the mind goes away because it gets scared. And then the really bad stuff happens. Yeah. I have to do that. Hanji.
I have a question. For like the family members that won this game and went to Vaidyaji,
Yeah.
do they look down on us or is there any way to meet them again?
Okay. So anyone that's won the game, they absorb into Sach, Paramatma. So in the form of Sach, they are looking around at everyone. So when one becomes one with Sach, whether it's our gurus, right? Whether we're talking about saints or family members that meet Sach, what happens is that they're all around us in the form of the Lord Himself because they become one. So if we go there and we also meet Sach, technically we meet them too. But they're not going to be like individuals, you know what I mean? They're all one. And we become one there too. Sometimes it is that Vaiguruji plays this play where they'll separate some minds in a way that those minds that have entered Sach, it's so tough to explain this one. Okay, so say there's a drop of water, right? When it merges back into the ocean, can you find that drop of water? No, right? So similarly, our mind, when it merges back into its origin, we can separate it out. However, Vaiguruji Himself can. So sometimes what happens is, Vaiguruji, if they want to send someone back on a mission, to do a specific task, to do something within this world, they'll play a play where it'll be like everyone's sitting there and they'll call out and they'll say, I need someone to go back into the world. Or they'll request an individual mind. And at that time, so why Guruji can separate out? See, if we want to meet those who have merged into such, meet such first and then you can see them in any form. Technically it's Vaiguruji's form. Sometimes even, we talk about dreams, and in dreams, people are sometimes thinking only about the Triguna. Those are dreams that are like fake. We don't have to worry about that. But there are certain people that they'll dream, but they think it's something that's questionable in the sense that it's holy, right? It's not like some normal dream. So they'll question it in the sense that say, oh, I had a dream where I was in Sangat. Is that real? What was that? Or they listen to some Gursikh and they're talking about Brahm, about Vaiguruji, about Gurbani, or Gurbani is playing, or Simran is happening. Those technically aren't dreams. Those are real. Because Sangat happens in the Sonamandal Sukhmel every night. In fact, at that time, some of those Gursikhs that you see, they've already merged into such, and Vaiguruji takes up any form they want. Or even if a Gurmukh's on the path, Vaiguruji could take up their form as well. Well, they're all forms of Vaiguruji. But the minute that they're speaking Brahm, talking about divinity, then it's real. It's not a dream. And Vaiguruji can come in any form to do that. Sometimes though, like we see the forms of saints and like it's like a dream where you're like driving a car or something, I don't know. Like, or he could be having something like that. And it has nothing to do with divinity. Those are like, what happens is Kal and the five thieves, they sometimes use all the subtle forms because everything exists within Sun. Every single form that we've taken from our past life to now exists here. I should mention this, but I don't know. I don't want people to worry. Okay. So, how many of you remember your past lives? I can't believe you guys put your hands up. Really? Hanji, that's so. Are you sure?
Like oh.
Do you actually remember? Well, no,
Yeah.
you could have had a human life before.
Yeah, I
Okay.
do. So like I fell off some stage. I was at school. I fell off a stage while I was going to the bathroom and I fell off a stage. Cause I
Yeah.
always like jump off stage,
Yeah.
like the stage stairs. Like I always jump off that, and I fell on my knee and I still have the bruise right here.
Oh, but that was from your past life? And you remember that?
Yeah.
Usually people are made to forget. That's interesting. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'll tell you a story. So there was this, we went to Jira with Bhai and we went to someone's house, right? On the way back, I believe it was. What happened was there was a Singh. And he said that every night, I have this dream. And Bhai was like, what happens in your dream? They're like, every night I see that I was fighting in a war and someone hit me across the face with a rod. I fall down and Singhs grab me and they carry me out of the battle. And when I wake up and I look in the mirror, I see that line where I was hit across my face and it slowly fades away. So they were talking to Bhai about that and I found that really interesting. And then Pidaji asked some more questions. And when we were going home, I asked Pidaji, I'm like, that seems to be a dream from his past life. Right? So what happened is that Pidaji's like, yeah, that was a past life dream. When we fall asleep, when we're falling asleep, you know, normally thoughts on there, right? what happens is we tend to go into sun and we have dreams of the Triloki. They don't mean anything. When you get to a point where you start to hear Anahad Shabd inside, and you're listening to the Anahad Shabds, and you fall asleep listening to those sounds, all of a sudden what happens is that those dreams are different. And there people start to see dreams of their past lives as to what happened. So these things can happen. So the thing is that what I didn't want to scare you with is this. Yes. ਸੁਣ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਾਂ ਟਾਈਮ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਣਾ ਹੈ ਇੱਥੇ ਤਾਂ ਟਾਈਮ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਹਰੇ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੁਣ ਚ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸਾਡਾ ਘਰ ਆ ਹਾਂ ਹਰ ਸਮੇਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਹਰ ਸਮੇਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਚਲੇ ਗਿਆ ਕਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਚਲੇ ਗਿਆ That's a good question. ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ question ਆਉਣਾ ਹੈ So what I didn't want to scare you about is most of us forget everything. We don't know who our parents and family members were in our past lives. And if we don't remember those people, what are the chances that when we have to leave this world, we're going to remember everyone we care about here? If we meet Waheguruji before we have to leave here, then what will happen is that we will remember. And then we'll merge into Waheguruji. And then it's just a matter of our family members coming and joining us there. Then there will be never any separation from any loved one ever again. So that was today's topic. Any other questions? Because we're out of time. We'll take after I've said Fateh Mare Kirpanan. अखरों दा कटा पुल च माफ करने जी वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा